I'm John Avino. Today I'm joined by Joe Hock. Joe is Futures League correspondent for us. He does some things for the commissioner. Today he's going to be discussing the 2015 MLB draft with me and what it meant for the Futures League to have 30 players selected, which was more than they've ever had this year, which is great for the league, great for the representation of the league and the reputation of the league. One of those players picked was the highest pick ever in Futures League history. Chris Shaw from Boston College was picked in the first round, 31st overall by the San Francisco Giants. What does him getting picked in the first round mean for the league's future, for his future? Just discuss Chris Shaw with me.
Obviously, just Chris getting picked is just it's big for the league itself. It's big for the future of the league, and it's big for the league as we stand right now. We had 30 players drafted in this past draft. There's a few more than last year, and it's definitely an improvement. And just Chris Shaw going in the first round shows that the players that we have in this league obviously can compete and compete at a high level, and that's pretty much been shown with Chris and a few of the other guys that have been drafted in the past couple of days. So it's definitely good for the league, and it's definitely good for the future of the league.
Yeah, Chris obviously, like I said, drafted 31st overall. He's a beast too. You look at some of his statistics from this season. He had 11 home runs and drove in 43 runs for Boston College in just 40 games. So you can just tell what kind of power he's got. Obviously, they're talking about him making an immediate impact for the Giants. He's not going to be on their major league roster this year, but he could make an impact very soon, climb the ranks very quickly. What do you think his future holds?
I mean, if you just look at the size of him, he's a big kid.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's ready to play with the big guys right now, ready to play in the majors right now. He's obviously got a little ways to go, a lot to do, just work on tinkering some things that will help him move himself along in the process. But obviously he's a big kid. He's a house.
Yeah. And like I said, 11 home runs, 43 RBIs in just 40 games played. He wasn't the only one drafted, though. There was plenty more players. We had 3 players go on day 2. And, Joe, those 3 players were Rhett Wiseman from Vanderbilt, Ryan Uhl from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and Andrew Brodbeck from Flagler College. Rounds 3, 7, and 9. The Nationals took Wiseman in the 3rd round. The Mariners took Uhl in the 7th, and the Cardinals Brodbeck in the 9th. What do their futures hold? What do you think about those guys and what they're going to be able to do? Obviously, getting 4 picks in the top 9 is great for the Futures League.
Obviously, those 3 picks, they all got picked before the end of the 9th round, so that's big for the league. That's big for those players. Obviously, those teams that drafted them feel very strongly about their future, and they use the pick that high on someone of their caliber. It definitely shows where they are with their skills. So it's something that's special to us. We see that. Obviously, we had Rhett Wiseman in 2012. He played with the Brockton Rocks. He's now with Vanderbilt, and they're actually in the College World Series right now. They're playing right now. I think during today's game, they're finishing up a postponed game from last night. And obviously, the other 2 players, one played at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and the other one played at Flagler in Andrew Brodbeck. So, definitely those 2 players have a lot of skill, and teams are looking for them to compete as well as they can. Hopefully, they make it as far as they can along the way in the big leagues.
Yeah, and as you said, Wiseman played for the league with the Brockton Rocks in 2012. Ryan Uhl and Brodbeck both played in 2013. They're both solid. All 3 are solid players, and all 4 if you include Chris Shaw. But they weren't the only ones selected. There was 26 players drafted on day 3, Joe. Who on that list of players stands out to you?
I would say definitely Mike Oldenwalder. He was the MVP of the league in 2014. He played for the Torrington Titans in years 2013 and 2014. He got drafted in the 16th round by the Orioles, so he was just definitely a name that stood out just because of how well they did in our league and how well that he did that the Orioles decided to take him with their 16th round pick. So it was definitely impressive. He's an impressive kid. He's a big kid, strong kid, and he's definitely going to do well wherever he goes, wherever he ends up.
And as you mentioned, he was taken in the 16th round. He attended Amherst College, which was a Division III school. And just some final numbers of the 30 players drafted from the Futures League. There was 4 total Division III players, him included, 4 players from Division II, 9 players from high school, and 13 Division I players selected out of the 30. So obviously the Futures League did a great job representing this year. Their previous high mark was last season when they had 24 players drafted. This year, as we mentioned, 30. We also mentioned Chris Shaw, who was the highest player ever selected in the first round, 31st overall by the Giants. So, like I said, like you've said, just a great year for the Futures League, great for their, promotion of the league, and it really shows the progress the league has made over the first few years of existence.
It's definitely an exciting time for the league, and hopefully this trend upwards continues and we continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, for Joe Hock, I'm John Avino, and this has been your Futures League Draft Recap.